Free for All Friday. Good morning. I told Pierre I would adopt him if they tried to take him away. So him and Cheryl have a place to live at my house if need be. I think his kids have moved on, haven't they? I hope, after I paid that promise. Morning, Brian.
I thought you offered Lauren Johnston a place to stay. No, that was Pierre who offered. No, who?
Anyway.
Somebody offered Lauren Johnston a place to stay so she could be a city manager.
Oh, okay. Well, no, it wasn't me, but she could. Okay. Our house is open for everybody. Anyway.
What's your address?
Well, you can look it up. It's all over my cell phone number, too. Hey, let's see. I was out of town on vacation. Just got back late yesterday. Scalloping in Steenhatchee. Anybody here ever done that? Scalloping in Steenhatchee?
Oh, yeah. It's a great
time.
Oh,
yeah. Oh, okay. Go ahead. It's a great therapy. You know, your head's underwater, you're snorkeling, and it's kind of like an Easter egg hunt with Easter eggs that'll bite you. Yeah. So, anyway, so what did I miss? What happened last week? Give me a quick rundown on what happened in Flagler County. I'm way behind.
Well, let me borrow your cheat sheet newspaper here. Mayor Norris was censured for a second time, so that was big news. There was I don't know if you remember last week on Free for All Friday. Do you remember that, where we gave out the phone number of Mayor Norris? Do you remember that?
Yeah. So
okay.
His city cell phone number.
Yeah. Right. So that didn't go over too well with some people. Mayor Norris didn't really like it. But in retaliation for doing that, he posted Charles Gambaro's number. It happened to be his personal cell phone. Which may or may not have been.
I'm getting bored already.
Yeah. Well, so that's some of what happened.
It was a boring week, right? Okay. All right, good. Well, anyway, so good. Hey, by the way, I did see on the page where you donated to the Pastor Solano and the Grace Community Food Pantry.
Yeah, so every week, or for the past 4 or 5 weeks or so, we've had where if you subscribe to the Observer and get it on your driveway, it's $52 a year. It's also free around town and newsstands, but if you want it on your driveway, the Observer is going to donate, or did donate, $20 for every subscription. So there were 78 new subscriptions in that month, and so we donated $1,560. And I stopped by and chatted with Pastor Charles Solano at the Grace Community Food Pantry last week and handed him the check. And so nice. That was just kind of something that we're trying with
that donation. He can buy $7,000 worth of food. He has a 5-time ratio on that. So so good. All right. Well, thank you for doing that.
Yeah.
Hey, we don't want to be rude to everybody, even though we usually are, but we apologize in advance to everybody we're going to be rude to here. In the studio here, we have LaShaka Moore, our superintendent of schools. Good morning.
Good morning. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah. Ryan Dessing, he's our chief of technology and innovation for the schools. Been on before. Good to have you back on.
Good morning. Glad to be here.
Ryan. Also, O.J. Walker, he's the guy that keeps all the buses moving and fueled up, right?
Good morning. That is correct.
Keeps everybody behaving on the buses, and it's a big job to have. How many buses do we have out there?
We have a fleet of 89 buses.
Talk right into the very end of that microphone, if you would. Okay.
We have a fleet of 89 buses. We will be running 70 routes this school year.
All right. And then in the back there, hey, everybody, you can look on the cameras. And you see there's Don Foley and what's her name? I'm sorry.
Carrie.
There we go. Okay. So, hey, but most importantly here, we really have been rude to our state representative, Sam Greco. Good morning, Sam.
Good morning, David. How are you?
All right. Sorry it took us a little while to get the show off the ground, but you're first up here as a star guest on it. So just give us a quick overview on the legislative session for 2025, kind of focusing on this for the 26 budget. What are the wins and losses that we had here in Flagler County? What was good that made you happy, and what disappointed you?
Well, we had an extended session, and after 105 days, we were able to bring the plane in for a landing and pass one of the most efficient and conservative budgets in Florida's history. And Florida's actually now one of the only states in history that, outside of a calamity, natural disaster, recession, has voluntarily reduced its budget, which we did this year, moving more funds into our rainy day fund and setting Florida up for the future with debt pay down and the ability to weather storms, literal and figurative, in the future. For Flagler County, we had a couple great wins back in the budget. We're bringing back about $5 million to the city of Palm Coast to help with some of their water treatment and utility issues. We've talked about it on the show. Your strangers are no listeners, your listeners are no stranger to this, but there are significant utility needs in the city, and there's not any one silver bullet to that. There's not any one funding source that's going to take care of that. But I was happy that we were able to get some support from the state back to the city to help offset that. We also received an appropriation for the YMCA in Palm Coast, which is another great asset for the community. Additionally, some other projects that will impact the community. We received an appropriation for security upgrades at Daytona State College, all of its campuses, including the Palm Coast campus, to make sure students are safe there. So we're excited about all that. There's definitely priorities that didn't make it through this year that we want to take another pass at next year, and of course there'll be a whole new set of priorities as the months tick by that the cities and county identify, and so we're looking forward to getting back just a few months now and starting on next year's budget and making sure that we continue to deliver wins for the county.
All right, let's talk schools here. Say good morning to LaShaka Moore, our superintendent, right here in the studio.
Good morning, Superintendent. How are you?
I'm doing well. Good morning.
So, it's like, hey, they say, what compromise is making everybody equally unhappy is about the best you can do on it. So what about educational funds this year? Where are we at? Obviously, some people aren't happy with it. So where are we at? What's your take on the appropriations, from the state of Florida for education for the coming year?
Well, I think we've appropriated a significant amount of money for education. Obviously, this is a critically important area to everybody who lives in the state of Florida, to our parents, to our students, to our future citizens, our future workforce. So it's something that we take extremely seriously and spend a significant amount of time on. And this year we did allocate significant funds across the state to our public schools, to charter schools, to education across the board.
Is the voucher system working, in your opinion?
I think so, and it's a new system, relatively new system. So it's something that we have spent a lot of time looking at and talking about, and want to make sure that we continue to modify and tweak as necessary to make sure that it works as best as possible for parents, that the environment is competitive, that both within the system itself, but also that we're setting parents up to have a really great choice where they're choosing between excellent public schools, excellent charter schools, and excellent private schools. We don't want a system where any one type of school is cannibalizing any of the others, but we want parents to have great choices across the board to make the decision that's best for them and their families.
All right. I was talking with LaShaka, and she said parents are getting kind of creative in using those vouchers and the money on it. And just a couple of examples. Do you want to share, LaShaka, with some of the examples you gave me, what parents can legally do with the vouchers? So go ahead.
I think that the voucher does, to Representative Greco's point, does give our families a lot of different choices. And for us in the public school, we want to make sure that we can also be a choice that can be extremely competitive when families have so many different options of ways that they could spend those funds. One of the ways that I would love for the legislation to really focus on, and they did put language in this year, is really around being able to identify who those students are that have those vouchers, and ensuring that the public schools, we are aware, so that there is we're reducing the crossover in funding for students. So, for instance, here in Flagler County, we have over 100 students that were here with us in Flagler schools. However, they also had the voucher, and now we're in a position of trying to retrieve the funds for the services that they were provided here within Flagler schools.
Sam, are you familiar with what she's talking about?
Yes, that's something that I think the superintendent and I, we might have spoken about it, but I've certainly spoken with others about this issue, and it's something that is on my radar.
So just so I'm clear, so someone said, I would like the voucher, and then they just ended up going to public school anyway?
So they were a student that may have already been with us, and then those families elected to go in for the voucher, which is you absolutely can have the voucher and be a part of public education, but you have to use those funds in order to pay us for the services that you receive. And so that has to be set up, but we have to be aware of who those students are. And so we across the state, and I do believe that the legislation is definitely working on this, but it is a significant weight when we are trying to then, after the fact, retrieve those funds from those families.
How clear is it that what education is? Because the parents, they have a right to spend, what is it, $9,000 or $8,000 per kid?
It's about $9,000, and that's one of the things that I will say is a win for Flagler County. Across the state, there was about a 1.3% increase per student, and Flagler we did receive about a 2.3% increase per student. And so what the priorities of education they're definitely changing, because we definitely have our standards that are outlined for our public schools and our charter schools, but families are able to use the vouchers in order to identify what they would like for education to look like for their children. And I think that is where we as a public school, we kind of lose our edge to really be competitive in that way.
Okay. Sam, it's kind of like I hear that, you never really heard the words competitive with schools because businesses are popping up. Even right here in Flagler County, we're getting lots of advertising buys from charter schools, even tutoring. They start up a business and they qualify just tutoring kids to get some of that $9,000. So it's like, I kind of see it like there's a feasting on these funds that the parents are in control of, and they're being, approached and being sold, saying, hey, sign your kid up. It's not going to cost you anything. You're on the voucher. We can take care of all that, and it's all legal. But I just see kind of throwing the chum out there, and it's being hit on by all different kinds of fish and depleting it. And like LaShaka said, we, the taxpayers with the public schools, could be, right? I mean, after they spend it all somewhere else, then they come to you, and then we still have to pay for that kid. So how does that work? Well, Sam, go ahead. LaShaka looks at me like, I don't know.
I mean, honestly, I think our state has a system for us as a public school, including our charter school, to identify the students that are being serviced with us. And we report those students multiple times throughout the year. And because this is a relatively new system, we have to just continue to work together to ensure that wherever, as the state has continued to say, if the money is following the students, we just know exactly where those students are, so we can ensure that those funds that we are allocating for education are getting to the right place.
Okay. Comment on that, Representative Greco.
Well, I think I agree with that, but also this is a new system. It's a new market, and there are new entrants to it, whether they're new charter schools or other types of educational opportunities. We want to make sure that power and flexibility lies in the hands of parents to make those choices. Obviously, we want parents to be well informed, and we don't want any predatory behavior in the market. And I'm not sure exactly what you've seen, but to the extent that there's people who are taking advantage of the system or taking advantage of parents, certainly that's the type of activity we want to continue to tighten the regulations around, so that type of misleading predatory behavior isn't existing. But as far as parents being able to choose the right type of educational solutions for their children, we want them to have the power to do that.
Well, I think also you look at parents, you go to school and here's the kindergartners are all so cute and everything, and here's the parents out there. The parents look like kids. I mean, they look. The older you get, the more like
That's
kids
a
they
sign
look.
of old
Right,
age,
right. No,
David,
yeah, I know. But I'm just saying that we're kind of you're thrust into being a parent suddenly from being a teenager and a kid, and you're like in your early 20s, and there's so many things and responsibilities to do. I think just thrusting it on the parents for them to totally decide, it almost seems like they should have some help of some kind in deciding rather than just, well, you're the parent, you're the expert, we'll do whatever you want. Seems like there should be some counseling for parents in helping to make a right decision about that.
Yeah, isn't there's like a new position in Flagler schools that kind of helps make those decisions? Is that right?
So Tuesday we're going to be asking our board to approve a school choice specialist position, because one of the things that we hear here in Flagler County, that families, as they're wanting to weigh their options and their choices, needing to support and understanding all of those different choices that we offer here within Flagler schools. And what does it mean to be a traditional homeschool student? What does it mean to be a student that is on the PEP scholarship but also taking services with the school? What does it mean to be partially enrolled, fully enrolled, all of those things? And so we want to make sure that we are reducing that frustration for our families. So as they come to us, we have this specialist that is able to help ensure that whatever that parent's desire is, whatever their end result is, we can help to get to that place, and we can offer the appropriate classes that those families are looking for. And so I think it's going to help for us to provide a better service to the students of Flagler schools as a whole, because there are choices. There are way more choices than there have been in the past, and that's a good thing. And so we want to make sure that we can get those choices in the hands of our families.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a very complicated. It used to be, well, A and B. Did you go to a private school? Did you go to the public school? Now you got A, B, C, D, and A1 and 2 because you can do a combination of things. Absolutely. Or whatever. I think it is. I think parents would really appreciate just saying, just like you're, investing in the stock market or something, that's why you go to an investor in it. I think there should be a position to say, for your kids in the situation you're in and where they're at in school, this is what I would recommend, just, without being biased about it.
What I'm wondering is, what is the mark of success of this diversification of these choices? Because if you look at, it used to be, say, 100 out of 100 or 95 out of 100 kids were going to public schools and maybe a few to other schools. Let's say because of the system it goes to 90, or maybe in 10 years, what if there's like 60% are going to public schools and 40 are doing all kinds of other alternatives? Would that be in itself seen as a positive thing because people, or what is the metric that would say now our Floridian children are being better served? I'm not really sure.
We don't know, right? I mean, like Sam, like you say, we're kind of exploring this, right? It's a new frontier in a way.
Well, I mean, there are all kinds of educational outcome metrics you can look at to see if there's been improvement in reading levels and math levels and graduation rates and college attrition rates. But I do think that the choice in itself is the victory. Now, whether that's a choice that is right for every family that parents choose to make, I don't. That is part of the right and the power that is now in the hands of the parents. And so I don't know that you can look at the sheer number of people who have taken advantage of the voucher, taken advantage of alternate education pathways to determine that, because a lot of parents do examine this option and then decide not to utilize it or to only utilize it very marginally. Now, the other thing I would say is, David, you were saying earlier, well, are parents really experts? And I would tell you that with regard to their own children, I do believe that parents are the experts, and that, that is where that power should lie. Now, if the school system wants to provide resources and information, certainly that's fine, and I imagine would be helpful to many parents. But the expert with regard to their own children is the parent. They know better than anybody else what is right for their kids, right for their families, and that's why we want to keep the power squarely within their hands.
So if there are other metrics, then I do think that there can be a great path forward. I guess, and maybe there's others who have this misconception, but I certainly do, that maybe there's less metrics when you're taking alternatives outside of the traditional public school system. So like if somebody did, if 20% of the kids started doing homeschool instead, do we know whether Floridian children are, better at reading or not based on that new flexibility? Are there ways of tracking how good they are at reading, beyond the public school system?
Well, we'll find out, all right? Because it's a work in progress, and then like you said, like Sam, you said, there's all kinds of metrics on it, and some of them contradict, some. So,
and this is what I will say. I completely agree that the experts are the parents towards their children, and I agree with that wholeheartedly. I also agree that we should have great choices. And I think it looks a little bit differently here in Flagler schools because we do have excellent schools and we do have excellent choices, be it private, charter, or our traditional public schools. But that's not the case everywhere. And so I think it is important that our legislators are looking at ensuring that students, wherever they are having those great choices. And so I do think it looks a little bit differently here in Flagler schools because we do have multiple great options versus some places that's not the case. But I agree with you. I think different people identify what the success is.
All right, very good. Sam Greco, final word. Thank you for spending so much time with us this morning, but I think it was a discussion, well worth having on it. What else, anything, final words that you can leave us with this morning?
Well, it was great to spend time with you, and as hard as it is to believe, we're going to be back in Tallahassee in less than 3 months, starting committee weeks for this next legislative session. So look forward to continuing to work with folks in the district, whether it's the school board, the cities, the counties, the parties, to see what we can do best in this coming legislative session to bring back results for Flagler County. But it was great to talk with you all this morning. Great to talk with the superintendent, and thank you for the great work you're doing. And the great schools you're giving us in Flagler County, and look forward to talking with you all again soon.
All right.
Thank
Very
you for your
good.
support.
Thank you, Sam.
Thank you. Sam Greco. He is our state representative. And we're going to talk more about education. And we've got people right on the front lines of education. We're going to be talking with them here. I always like Ryan Desing. He's chief of tech. He's got the answers to everything.
Everything.
Talking about. But and also we have O.J. Walker, Mike Rinaldi. We're going to be checking in with Katie Hansen, our new Buddy Taylor principal, LaShaka Moore, and Brian McMillan, Mark, me, you. That's all we need. We got a full house. We will be right back.
I'm ready.
Don't even think about climbing that ladder.
We got a guy that'll do it for you.
If you're going to do it right with Benjamin Moore.
We've got the professional painters and the best paint.
Benjamin Moore, corner of Old Kings and Utility Drive.
Palm Coast.
Locals know where locals go. For great music, dancing, fantastic food, and great times. You'll love these tunes.
Johnny D's Beach Bar and Grill. We're waiting for you.
This is attorney Michael Politis. You pay your bills. You pay for your insurance every month, year after year. And then one day, bam, you're in an accident. After all that loyalty and all those payments, does the insurance company want to pay you when you finally need them? No. They're happy to take your money, but never want to pay when they should. Don't trust an insurance adjuster to do right by you. They work for the company, and their job is to save money, not spend it. I want to work for you. Who should you trust? Politis and Matavina, the Justice Attorneys. Offices Palm Coast, Ormond Beach, Port Orange, and Orange City.
Hey, do you know somebody who'd like to move to this area? It's a tough housing market out there right now. I know. I've been doing this for 40 years. I know all the builders, the neighborhoods in the area. I know where the $1 million mansions are and where to find the good starter homes. Give me a call anytime. I'd be happy to help. I'm Memory Hopkins. Everybody knows me around here, from lighthouse to lighthouse. My cell phone is 386-931-9464. Memory Hopkins Real Estate. Let's talk.
Good morning, Free for All Friday, July 18th. Wow, already. I can't believe I just said that.
I know.
2025. Woof, LaShaka Moore.
Good morning. Glad to be here.
And I remember first time I think you were on, you were promoted to be the principal at Buddy Taylor?
Rimfire Elementary School.
Rimfire, okay.
Yes,
all right.
Yes. You know what? You are the reason why people say LaShaka Moore.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I know. It's a great name. It's a great show business name.
Exactly.
It's like fun to say. Everybody, let's go 1, 2, 3. Let's say LaShaka Moore. 1, 2, 3.
LaShaka Moore.
It's like you don't even need a last name.
You don't.
Just go LaShaka.
It's true.
Like Madonna has only got a front name. All that. Okay.
I will now be known as just LaShaka.
That's it. Yeah, just LaShaka. Right.
There's never any confusion.
No.
Never.
Anyway, Ryan D. Singh, good to have you back here. You're our guy with technology, innovations, and all that.
And he's actually doing plant services while Dave Freeman is still out hiking the Appalachian Trail. So he really has the answers to all things.
All right. Well, here, Ryan, in one breath, give us what is your job description at Flagler County Schools?
Oh, job description. Wow.
Yeah.
Really oversee a lot of stuff with technology, work a lot with our curriculum. But ultimately what I say when people ask what I do, I work with a team within the district to make sure that students and teachers have what they need in their classrooms related to technology and applications.
Well, now, that's got to be coming really big, because and we'll talk about AI here. Obviously, it's about everything. Everybody does it. What was it that attorneys are using AI for case studies and things like that, and then it turns out that the case studies weren't even real, and a judge catches them on it, and they look like idiots, They go, but everybody is cutting and pasting and using AI on everything anymore. What's your take on that? You were around before anybody heard of AI.
Well, I think AI from that perspective has been around for a while. I think it's finally caught on from a perspective like we know what to call it. But I would say, perspective from mine, I think about when Google kind of became pervasive within education, and we had a lot of the same conversations that we're having around AI. How do we use it? How do we use it appropriately? How do we train students? How do we make sure that when they are using it, that they're using it appropriately, they can reference it, and they can check? Because like the same thing, you can't trust everything you see on the internet. If you remember, Google popped up. Everybody's like, well, it's on the internet. It must be true. So we understand that you have to be able to learn and validate. It's going to be another 21st century skill for our students to learn.
And what we say in common language to that is you have to have a human in the loop. You can't just use AI in order to do these case studies and those things. You have to have someone that's going and looking and checking. And we call that having a human in the loop. It's not just give it to AI and let it do it.
But for teachers, when you say, okay, class, write a report on whatever, I would be thinking, piece of cake, I'm going to AI this one. So why wouldn't you do that?
We do want to teach our students how to use AI in order to help them be more efficient, as even a thought partner, to brainstorm with whatever your AI platform that you're using. Those are healthy and ways for us to have our students to use AI. But what they shouldn't be doing is just saying, okay, write this essay, put it in there, let it do it, and then they just submit it. Because then their thought is not in it. They should be going back, reading it, refining it, and then identifying what parts did AI do and what parts did I do.
I think, what's powerful about the AI and by the way, I saw where YouTube is now the second most popular search engine above everything. It's Google, and then YouTube is really moving up.
Videos are the easy consumption. And they're quick and easy to get to. There's so much content. There's more content being created every day than time in the day. You cannot digest it.
Exactly. So when you think about if I want to learn how to do something, instead of going to Google, I'm going to go to YouTube because there's going to be a quick video on how to do it. I'm convinced I can build a house right now just by looking at YouTube. But
I changed the oil in my car, my transmission fluid in a car that said you can't change the transmission fluid. And it was YouTube.
Wow. Okay. All right. Well, here's another an education, and I want to talk about SATs also. Are SATs, is that really in this day a fair way of judging how smart a kid is for the rest of his life?
I think that it is important that we use multiple metrics and multiple ways that students demonstrate their understanding and their intellect. One assessment is not going to be a good determiner of anything. And so we should always be using multiple measures in order to determine a student's academic ability, not just one thing.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What do you think, Brian? I mean, it was always, that was it, hey, your SAT, you're stamped like you're an idiot or you're a genius.
Well, I think that if you're a college administration, board and you've got 10,000 people that apply, you have to have something to narrow them down. But why not get 50 different data points, and maybe there's AI can help to find a better way to say, yeah, that student has a good chance of success, even though SAT might be in the middle of the pack, but they're good in all these other areas. And I'm sure they're doing things like that already.
I was going to challenge you on that to say, just because you have a high SAT score doesn't mean that you're going to just get into the school of your choice. Yeah. They look at other things. They look at what service are you doing for your community. So they look at your community service hours. What other programs have you been a part? Are you involved in the arts? So when I say other metrics, it cannot just be one assessment, right? It has to be other things. And we do the same thing within our school system of looking at the student in a more holistic way, not just their academic performance on one item.
Okay. So is there less emphasis on SAT today than there was, or?
No, I think it's equal. I think it's still important and relevant. I just think that there are lots of different things that it is used for, but it is included with other pieces as well. I
think, today, and you watch with everybody, not just kids, with, me or whatever, somebody asks you a question you don't know the answer to, you got to know the answer. And there it is. So Once your brain asks the question, doesn't know the answer, and then you give the answer, the brain, you'll always remember it because your brain was saying, what is this? Then you have to fill it, and it puts it in the file folder, and you got it. But in school, you were being taught all kinds of things you could care less about. But today, all those things you were taught that you didn't remember, you could care less about, when the time comes in real life that you need to know what's the square root of 785. I don't know how to figure it out, but I can tell you in 2 seconds what it is. So that's because before calculators, before all that kind of stuff, you had to do it by hand. So are we taking the emphasis away from how you figure out different stuff or know these kind of things to strategically using the resources that are before you in real life to be a better person and more productive?
And I'm going to let Ryan jump in on this because I can see he's like ready to say something. But I think it is important about facts and information you need to know. But we really focus on critical thinking. What are you doing with the information that you have and that you know? How do you apply it in real life? So not as much about, do I just know? We don't want our students to just be walking encyclopedias, but what do you do with the information that you do have? And when you don't know, where do you go to find it?
All right, Ryan, give your opinion on that. Then we're going to move on to another, but I think it's interesting.
Well, I think that let's talk about calculator and how that impacted. And if you think about from an education standpoint, like calculators, nobody can figure out how to do it. Well, you're not going to be able. Who's that heard? You're not going to be able to walk around with a calculator in your pocket forever. Well, guess what? Here we go. So right. It's teaching kids how to use those, and I think it brings knowledge and forward. Think about the impact of what computers has had and what that does for science and technology. How much further folks are able to take that because they're not having to sit and calculate those out. They have a partner in it from the technology, and the thought process now can be taken to the next level, to the next level, to the next level. So technology is going to continue to evolve, and folks are going to learn it. They're going to get smarter, and we're going to continue to progress with it.
Okay.
I agree with that completely. I did a tour over at Advent Hospital, and you can get a surgery and have a surgeon in the room, and they can have someone to Zoom, Skype, whatever, remote in that can help in another part of the world. That person's not even in the room. That is the power of technology, and it is incredible, and I think it's going to just continue to help and advance.
Yeah, that technology is absolutely amazing. Da Vinci machine. We actually had the opportunity to partner with Advent, and they brought it over to the Flagler Auditorium. We were able to have students actually look and play with some of that.
And with
very,
that,
very cool.
soon, with that Da Vinci, you would be able to have the surgeon in Houston doing a heart operation on you here in Palm Coast.
Yes.
That's incredible to me.
Yeah, okay.
Especially if I'm the one that needs the heart surgery.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, well, we got the best, but he's not here. But next
we can
best
get him
thing,
in.
I guess. Yeah, okay. All right, cool. All right, hey, let's move on to the whole transportation system to me in to getting all the kids to school and the buses going here and there and there's a new app. Well, it's not new anymore, where parents can go, "Where's my bus?" or something, and they can see where the So cutting class is a lot harder than it ever used to be, I guess, and cutting school and things. But tell us, and every day, OJ, you've been on the program before. We talked about our bus system and transportation. What % of the kids in Flagler County use the bus as opposed to walking, biking, parents driving, whatever?
So we transport upward of about 50 to 60% of our students here in Flagler County.
Okay.
They are on the bus.
Is that is that an average in a community, 50 or 60%?
That's an average here.
Okay. All right. All right. This is all we care about is here anyway, I guess. So, all right. I mean, well, because I guess, rural areas, it's further and, some kids can whatever to it.
Yeah, and I think the strategic location of our schools as well does help that as well.
And do we have enough buses?
Yes, we do. We do have enough buses this year.
We always need drivers, though.
And they have seat belts now?
All of our buses are equipped with seat belts.
Okay. Air conditioning,
video surveillance. They are outfitted very well.
How about bus drivers?
We are consistently hiring bus drivers. We were fortunate this summer to hire about 12 drivers. So we had 10 vacancies, so we're able to fill those vacancies. Fingers crossed, we're going to keep those drivers.
All right, in your office, I'm picturing like a air traffic control tower with radar screens, and because the buses have GPSs on them, right?
Yes.
So do you have a map where you can go, you can radio one of the buses and say, hey, better speed up, you're running behind, or something like that?
Yes, we do have GPS surveillance on our buses. We do live track the buses as they are traveling through the county.
But we do not tell them, speed up, you got to get there faster.
We do not do
what
that.
we do is inform the families that the bus is running behind.
Oh, okay. All right. And can you, from your office, see cameras inside the bus and see if kids are behaving or not?
We have that ability. We do not use it because we don't want to Boy Scout the video surveillance in the buses. But we do have that capability.
Okay. Yeah, and we want our drivers to be able to remain focused. Like now we have that information. We can always go back and address that if it's a concern.
So if something would happen or somebody go, he hit me, then you can go, let's look at go back to it and take a look at it.
Absolutely.
Okay.
How many of the buses are going middle, elementary, and high school? Like, do most of the buses run all three levels?
Not all of them. Due to certain remote areas, those buses are only able to do a 1 or 2 tier run. Okay. And it's contingent upon the tiers. If they're in an area, they're able to do a middle school and an elementary. They may not be able to do anything other than a high school because it falls right in the middle of those tiers.
Okay. All right. So you're all set for the coming year, and
yes,
you got everything we need. You got all the drivers you need.
Mm-hmm.
We're always hiring drivers. So if there's someone that's listening and they want to come and be a school bus driver, come and apply.
All right, OJ, do a 30-second commercial. You're talking to potential bus drivers. Go ahead. Go.
To the bus driver. Oh.
Free advertising.
Free advertising. Come help us move Flagler forward. We are hiring school bus operators. We do in-house training. Training is paid. You are off weekends, holidays. What other better job can you perform than being a school bus driver?
And do you need a CDL? Do you get a CDL, or is that not related to this?
Yes, you do need a Class B CDL with passenger and school bus endorsements. So, yes, you have to have that CDL. In order to get that CDL, you have to have had your Class E license for a total of 5 years.
Let me, I'll give you a little help with your, matter of fact, was it on here? Anyway, I have a recording of one of your school bus drivers that talked about how it was the most rewarding thing he'd ever done in his life. Because, the kids, whatever, he was the point where they would hug him and he watched them grow up through the years and they were part of his life and all that. And he said, I wish people could realize how fulfilling it is, really being one. Of course, you get little brats once in a while, but so what? But the vast majority of the kids, he looked at himself as the neutral one. You leave the house, your mother's yelling at you for whatever reason, or whatever. But here's the bus driver, always happy to see you and welcome you aboard and wish you a good day.
Our bus drivers are so critical. They are the first and the last ones to see our students. And so they build strong relationships with our students, and they come and support them at their events. You'll see a bus driver that's at, Terrific Kids or at a scholarship ceremony for our students. So many great things. So our bus drivers are critically important, and we invite our community, those who have the qualifications, to come and join us, and we'll train you on the rest.
So if you're, and you don't have to shift 8 gears anymore?
No.
You do not.
A lot of people, they picture that, oh my God, I can't drive a stick shift, so I wouldn't be able to. But they drive real smooth, just like a.
They do. I will tell you this: I can actually drive a school bus better than my car.
Wow. Okay. Well, look out for you driving your car.
I bet there's a lot of positions at the school that feel exactly the same way. That's why they're there, because you get to see those kids.
The custodian, even.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
Every position at a school gets to have that experience.
I never thought of that. The custodian. Everybody loved the custodian. The janitor.
Absolutely. Even I think about our plant services and our maintenance guys. There's a group that did a project at Flagler Coast High School with some of our students with disabilities, and they went in and they were teaching them about their job. And so those are individuals that our students typically do not see, but they are so involved in what is happening in Flagler School. So every job is very important, every single one of them, and they're making an impact and helping us to reach our vision of being the nation's premier learning organization where all of our students graduate.
Hey, let's get to know Mike Rinaldi. How you doing this morning?
I'm well.
Now,
How are you?
You're the new principal at Matanzas?
I am the 5th principal of Matanzas High School.
Well, here, we have
brand new.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
And tell us a little about you, and how did you get from where you were to where you are?
Well, it's been an interesting journey. This is my 26th year in education. I have about 18 years of administrative experience. The last 2 years have been serving under the guidance of LaShaka Moore and in a district level position. I have had varied experiences throughout elementary, middle, high school. I feel like I have the experience that I can bring to the students to move Flagler forward.
All right. And so what's your style? I mean, because principals, when you say, going to the principal's office, or, there was so many different personalities of principals that run their schools kind of to their personality. Would you agree with that, LaShaka? You've been there, but
absolutely. Our school principals are very, very different. However, what they all have in common is they're committed to knowing our students, having a relationship with them, and going to the principal's office now looks very differently than going to the principal's office back in the day. It's probably the dean's office now that you're talking about. Where like, I'm going to the dean's office.
David was never sent to the principal. He doesn't know what you're talking about.
No, I'm sure never.
No.
I'm sure never. But we have great principals and assistant principals in our schools that make it a point to really know our students, and that's what's extremely important to me.
So what's your style, Ryan? How do you're like captain of the ship, kind of, right?
Actually, I am captain of the ship.
Yeah.
I'm very, I'm strongly based in a relationship type of leadership. I build strong relationships through trust, and the trust extends beyond just my immediate staff. The trust has to extend into the community, with the parents, with our business partners, with the students. I actually came to LaShaka, and I missed that relationship with the students, with the team of teachers, with the custodians, with the plant services. I miss driving a group of people towards a shared common vision. And that's when I decided I was going to apply, and she had the confidence in me to choose me to be the next leader, be the captain of the ship.
All right. So, I mean, I'm picturing you standing out in the hallway with classes changing, like
most definitely.
Like you're campaigning. Hey, everybody.
Yeah. Visibility is the key. That's how you build relationships. That's how people know through your consistency and visibility. That's how people trust you.
How many students are at Matanzas High
We're
School?
right over 2,000 right now.
Wow.
We're at about 2,020.
Oh, my goodness.
And how is that with capacity? Are we okay?
Yeah, we're okay with capacity.
The new expansion, everything?
The expansion's wonderful. It allows our students more access, more opportunity to some media services, to some Diploma Plus options when you look at our new construction facility, which is dynamic. So, yeah, the facility is wonderful.
The last couple years ago, there was a Spirit Day that was focused on Barbie when the Barbie movie came out. And the principal participated. I was wondering if you'd be willing to do the same.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
He's always down for a dress-up day.
Yes. You have to, in order to relate to your students, you have to be relatable. And being relatable means that you can be vulnerable at times. Mm-hmm. You can dress up. You can act the part of whatever the theme day is. And students and the school community appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
How's your football team looking this year?
Football team's looking good. They've been working hard, off-season conditioning. We're about right now. We're about at 100 players, so we have that participation. Is definitely those numbers are up.
Okay, so you've got a deep bench then.
Got a deep bench.
Pull from. I know the Potato Bowl. Obviously, we broadcast live the high school football games and with Rich Carroll and all those guys, and now on video.
And we're hosting the Potato Bowl this year.
Oh, are you? Oh,
yes,
okay. That'll be special.
It is at the ship.
All right. School spirit is good?
School spirit's great, but it can always be improved.
Okay. All right.
We want to develop school spirit to where, our students feel like they belong. That's their place.
All right. Very good. Well, hey, we got another round of applause here. Katie Hansen, are you with us?
Yes, sir. How are you this morning?
All right. We got a little round of applause for you, too, there. So congratulations. You are our new principal at Buddy Taylor. Is that right?
Yes, sir. Super excited to be there.
So tell us a little about, where did you come from to get to be principal of Buddy Taylor?
I have actually been a part of Flagler County Schools since about 1987. I went to Bunnell Elementary, Wadsworth Elementary. I went to what was then called Belterre Middle School. Mr. Buddy was actually my principal there, and I graduated from FTC. And once I finished college, I returned back to Flagler County Schools. I started my career with Indian Trails Middle School, teaching science and math. I have been an instructional coach at Buddy Taylor Middle School for about 4 years. So it's kind of a little like coming home between going to middle school there and working as an instructional coach. And then I've been a dean for a year, and for the last 3 years, I've been an assistant principal at Indian Trails.
Wow. You sound like you haven't gotten tired of that at all.
Nope, not at all. I have loved every step of my educational journey with Flagler County Schools.
Go ahead, Brian.
What do you think it helps? How do you think it helps in your new role that you've had experience being, representing the teachers with the teachers union?
I think one of the most important things we talk about often, and Superintendent Moore talks about our guiding principles with children first. And she always says, children first does not mean adults last. And that's something that really resonates with me. We always are going to put our children first, but the needs of our staff and, treating them with professional respect, that's something that's always going to be very important to me.
All right. What's your style of, you've been through it all. And so how would you describe, take a step back and describe what is the principal management style of Katie Hansen?
I think it is, kind of coming alongside people, whether it's, students, whether it's families, whether it's staff, and walking through with them. I've been, like I said, a part of a middle school for a long time, and every day is different in a middle school, but I think you just really have to try to empathize, to put yourself in the shoes of whomever that person is that's sitting across from you with a concern, and finding ways, to get to yes and to support them to make sure that everyone is growing and becoming successful.
What would you say to parents listening right now going, geez, I don't know, do I send my kid to Buddy Taylor, or do I go to charter school, or do I homeschool? What would you say to that parent who can't decide?
I think Buddy Taylor Middle School offers a lot with regards to our electives. There's some things that we offer that the other middle school does not offer. Our culinary program has been, had tremendous success. And I think we're really working towards a culture where students want to be a part of it. I know Mrs. Cronk, the previous principal, really instituted this idea of houses where our students, not just have the class and a homeroom teacher, but they really have kind of a family, a community, where there's some healthy competition, and pushes them to be their best self, but it really gives them a sense of belonging and school spirit. And I think that's something that really sets us apart from the other schools.
All right. Hey, that was good. That was almost as good as OJ's pitch for people to be school bus drivers. And, I think here, they always say if you don't toot your own horn, someone else uses it as a spittoon. And
right.
I'm sorry. LaShaka rolls her eyes like, oh, God. Anyway. But I
definitely spent time at the principal's office.
But I think the Flagler Public Schools should really do more bragging about what they have to offer. And I think parents would appreciate hearing that and knowing it and all that kind of stuff, because we do make decisions emotionally, justify them logically. And emotionally, there's a whole lot of good things that Flagler Public Schools have to offer that, I think should be bragged about. That's just my opinion.
Absolutely.
All right. All right. Well, Katie, at some point here, we'll get you in the studio and we'll talk about, education and, the middle school. God love all the teachers and anybody that has anything to do with that age group and making them good citizens. Anybody that's parented kids through those teen years and everything. But it's such an important thing that you do. So thank you. Okay, Brian.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I look forward to the opportunity.
Brian, anything for Katie before we let her go?
Well, I just want to say thank you for what you're doing. I mean, I've talked to you several times. When you're at Indian Trails, my kids went to Indian Trails. All my kids go to public school, and I think they've had a great education from it. And so I think, just like we talked about, every person who does every little role makes that experience better. So I'm grateful for everybody in this room and for what you're doing as well, Katie.
Okay.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
LaShaka, anything before your principal at Buddy Taylor moves on for the weekend?
I'm super proud and excited to have both Ms. Hanson and Mr. Rinaldi join our other amazing principals. I know that they're going to lead well and lead with integrity, and they're going to follow our guiding principles of putting our kids first, and then we always end with get to yes. And I want to just say to our students and our families and our community, school starts August 11th, and we cannot wait for it.
All right. Katie, have a great weekend. Thanks for joining us, okay?
Thank you. You too.
All right, Katie Hanson, Buddy Taylor, new principal there. We got to wrap it up. We're over time. Let's see. Don Foley, you got any breaking news from the public information, a PR guy, whatever?
I do have breaking news.
All right.
I have great breaking news for you. We had our Teacher of the Year ceremony in in Orlando last night. And, of course, Brandy Anderson from Indian Trails, our civics teacher, was a finalist and performed splendidly. We did not walk away with the top prize, but there were 5 amazing finalists, and Brandy really shined for the county. It was amazing to see.
All right, very good. That's great news. See, those are the kind of things we need to, brag about.
We love sharing them with you every day.
Okay, appreciate it. Don, you do a great job, by the way, getting information out, for the schools, and always available. Call them and ask them for this or whatever, so we appreciate that. All right, we got to get going, and Ryan, do you sing any final words for everybody before we move on?
Absolutely. We have our annual registration is open, and we have our device distribution set up at Indian Trails. If you need more information on it, go to flaglerschools.com. Get those forms filled out and get your kids their computers and devices before the first day of school.
All right. OJ, back there, anything final from the guy keeping everything moving in town? He comes running up from the back there. So final words from you.
Yes, just to the public, be aware of the buses as they are loading and unloading students. We want to make sure that we keep our students in Flagler safe. So if you see a bus stop with their reds engaged, please stop. Please stop.
Yeah.
Stop sign means stop for everybody.
Yes.
Yeah.
You wouldn't think you would have to tell people that, but yep, you do, I'm sure, because you probably get reports of people oblivious, or probably that's a lot of it. Not that they don't know, but they're texting and oh my God, I just whatever it is.
It always makes me feel good. Like you drive through the school zones, are it's slow. You got to take your time, but when I drive through the school zone and like the whole community is just slowing down, going through, it's kind of like we're all in this together. It's kind of a little thing, but it makes me feel good community spirit in the school zone.
I agree with that.
Okay, I'll have to readjust my thinking. All right, Mike Rinaldi, our new Matanzas High School principal. Final words from you.
Well, we have our new Pirate Night for all incoming freshmen and all new students to Matanzas High School to be August 7th at 6 p.m., and it'll be an interactive orientation.
All right.
We're looking forward to seeing everybody.
Okay. Lashaka.
I want to thank our community for supporting the work that is happening in education here in Flagler County. And I just want to remind our community that school starts August 11th. And so we know things will get a little bit slower, or we'll get more efficient with our buses, all of those things. But continue to just watch and pay attention to what's happening in Flagler schools.
All right. Thank you all for what you do. Brian.
Thank you.
Back to school.
Back to
school jam.
Back to school jam. That's your chance.
Is that August 7th? Or August 2nd, I mean?
August 2nd.
And if you would like to subscribe to The Observer, we're going to donate $20 of that toward a PTO of your choice. You can go on observerlocalnews.com/subscribe and get the newspaper and make a donation at the same time.
So if I cancel my subscription and resubscribe,
you would be working the system, and we would do it.
We would still give the $20.
We would still do it.
Everybody have a great weekend. Be safe, be kind, take care.